And now we are live.
Live on Tuesday. Well, it is actually afternoon, this time around.
Yeah, Escrow Tuesdays live. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, everyone. Is it really on? I gotta always check here. Oh, yeah, it is on. All right. Okay.
You're always on, Charles.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Escrow Tuesdays. My name is Charles Swanberg, Caimeiju Realty, and my guest host here is Narhee Nguyen from Tower Escrow. Narhee, how are you?
I am fabulous. How are you?
2021. You must have taken a ginseng energy pill that asked you.
You know it.
Good job. And yeah, so 2021 treating you pretty well so far?
Yep. Going in with blessings. That's all I can do.
Right. Little guy here is drinking the Oreo Kool-Aid. We'll talk more about that later. But here we are, episode, I believe, 22. And Garrick Yang is our guest today. Garrick,
22? Wow.
I think it is. Is that a lucky number?
Wow.
All right. Well, Garrick, welcome to the show. We finally have you. And now we have the complete CDC committee members now finally on. And unfortunately, you were the caboose. So anyway, congratulations. Yes. So how you doing, Garrick?
I'm doing great.
How many TikToks
way to start 2021?
Today? Yeah, how many TikToks did you make today?
I have not made any. It's
All
actually
right.
been a while
after
since
this
I've
one,
made
I'm sure you'll have
TikTok.
plenty of material to make one. So tell us a little bit about yourself. We know you're in real estate. You're involved with ARIA, but give us an idea who Garrick Yang is.
I'm a Bay Area native, San Francisco Bay Area native. Born in San Francisco, grew up in the peninsula, went to school in Davis, which is up near Sacramento.
UC Davis?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you learn how to milk cows there? No?
Yeah, but we rode our bikes past the cow pies for sure.
Oh, okay.
Then took a job over there as an engineer, and then eventually worked remotely. Started Silicon Valley in '97 with a big tech firm. We were building the first internet websites, which was kind of cool. E-commerce was just the new word at the time. That ran until about 2006 when 2001 when everything changed. And then I went to go teach English in China for a summer, and I say, hey, this is fun. So I kept on teaching. I changed to become a teacher from 2001 to about 2012. When I entered into real estate, because I said, I think I need to earn a little bit more money.
Well, did you have like a big following and kind of like an entourage in China when you were teaching real estate? Everyone kind of trying to be the
when I was teaching English in China, for sure. Yeah. When you're the fluent English speaker, everybody wants to hear what you have to say. Especially we weren't in the big city. We're in a small city in central China, so they don't often see foreigners.
Which one? Maybe one of our viewers has been
Lanzhou, China, in Gansu province.
Oh, Gansu province. Well, yeah, I was in.
They're known for the Lanzhou Niu Rou Mian.
Oh, okay. They don't have the beef rolls there, right? Oh no, that's.
No, it's a beef noodle soup.
Yeah, I was in Henan province, somewhere where no one really goes there for tourism anyway, but I think that's where the Shaolin Temple is, but I haven't practiced my Shaolin Kung Fu in a while. Yeah, all right. Well, thanks for introducing yourself. It's great to know you all these years, Garrick. I haven't been up to the Bay Area enough in the last 5 years, but every time I'm up there, I think I ran into you, so that's always good.
Yeah, so then you go about 11 years, a whole decade of teaching English, and you said, I want to make some more money, but why not the medical field or the lawyer, and why real estate?
Medical field? You imagine Garrick as a doctor?
Oh, yeah.
He'll be like, in the middle of surgery, he'll be like, oh, this looks really cool. And he'll be like making a TikTok on it.
So I took my first go at, so I bought my first house in '99, and I took my first go into real estate about 2005. So at that time, I looked at my parents, so they had their first house, then they kept it, rented it out, and it was basically paid for by the tenant after 25 years. And then they had their second house, which that was the one that we were living in. And I said, hey, that doesn't seem like a bad plan. So I figured, okay, well, I should learn how to buy my second home at that time. So when I was in that process, I was like, okay, well, let's learn how to be an investor. So I attempted 2 or 3 times to get a license, but the market wasn't really favorable at that time that I was going for it. And I kind of gave up on it for a while during the short sales time. So I got licensed in 2010 and then hit the ground running after that. So in 05, I did buy 3 other properties. So today I still have one of them. I still keep the one I have and a rental I have. So, but always looking at investment opportunities.
Right. Wow. So, hey, 2010, 2011, I mean, you must have had like 30 listings and you probably had like 1 showing out of all 30 listings in a week, right?
I wasn't an agent at that time, so I was still teaching at that time.
Oh, I'm telling you, that everyone thinks, right, the real estate market has always been kind of like this, especially if you just gotten into the market. But if anyone's been in through a few cycles and swings, and it's you gotta dig this while it's going real well, right?
Yep. Market's always changing. You got to adapt to it.
All right. Well, then, so you're doing real estate. I take it you're Asian, Garrick? You never know, right? I mean, so you probably maybe went to an ARIA event. How did you find ARIA, or then how did ARIA find you?
So I was at a very small company, basically a really small brokerage. Basically, I worked with a broker all the time, and I never saw anybody else in the office. So I needed networking, and thought it was really important to network. At the time, Laura was introducing me to ARIA, and I said, "Hey, okay, so come and
that's Laura Tang,
other people in this business and start learning." So I'm always an advocate for being a student of, never stop learning. So if there's an opportunity to learn, if there's a workshop, if there's people to meet, I'm there. So that's kind of what helped me grow my business, is meeting people all the time and also learning from people who've done it before and then rip off and duplicate. So with ARIA, I saw other like-minded people that sold more than I have, and I started learning, and I think that helped me propel myself in the early part of my business.
All right.
So you looked ARIA up on the internet, or how did you find ARIA?
No, Laura told me. He said, Laura said, "Garrick, you need to come join us." I said, "Okay."
Got it.
Hey, for those of you just joining us, we are here on Facebook Live with Garrick Yang, who is our guest. I'm here with Miss Tower Escrow, Narhee Nguyen here. And so, all right, so Laura Tang kind of got you into maybe going to an event or two, but Garrick, you were the East Bay chapter president. There's only 41 of those, from time to time. And now you're the CDC vice chair. So something happened there, who brought you into the leadership, and who basically, like this little guy, got you to drink the ARIA Kool-Aid?
I think a lot of that has to do with the culture within ARIA, about empowering each other. And I really appreciate that. And I take this opportunity to bring up new members as well. If you are a younger agent or a newer agent and you want to give to your community, actually, you don't have to be a newer agent. You can be an experienced agent, or anybody in the real estate industry. If you are looking for an opportunity to build others up, because we are in a cooperative business, we can't do this on our own, right? So we can't. We are going to work with another agent on the other side of the transaction. We are going to work with an escrow person. We are going to work with a lender. And if you think that you can control this by yourself, you're mistaken, and you're not going to go very far. So making those connections, bringing up new leaders, I think is good for our cause and good for home ownership and good for our business, because there's plenty of agents that have questionable ethics. And if we keep the ethics high and if we support each other, we've got places to go. So that's kind of where I saw it.
Man, did we record that? Because that was well put.
Yeah. Please submit your credit card number to join ARIA for $99.
Yes.
Yeah, the ARIA telethon coming here as spokesman. Yeah.
So if you're looking for a leadership opportunity or a place to serve, or if you just want to give back, you just never know. You start small and then it moves on up. I think the chapter level is great. It provides you with local knowledge, but I think once you level up, you meet people like Charles, you meet people like Narhee, you meet people like Amy Kong, the national president, or Tom Trong, or James
Look
Huang.
at him name drop.
Your circle becomes bigger, right? Who are the five?
Yes.
Who are the 5 people that you hang around with? And are you the? I don't know. I messed it all up, but
it's good. We recorded it.
Yeah, we got it because that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So you dropped a lot of names there, but I want to hear the one name that got you to say, Garrick, you need to be president of East Bay. You need to put your application. Who was that?
That goes back to our chapter. That goes back to the Greater East Bay chapter, and I think that was Laura. So Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Instrumental to pushing me.
All right. Well, there's always somebody, and it's sometimes surprising to find out who that person is. We're like, oh, really? And then sometimes we're like, duh, So, no, that's really good. Well, thank you, Garrick, for all your service, and we hope sometime in the future, Garrick Gang, Aria National President. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it, Narhee?
Ooh, that's a little good ring there. Yeah.
Charles to be my right-hand person to keep my calendar up.
You never know, but that's awesome.
Yeah. Let's make a little shift here, Charles.
Yeah, let's shift gears. Shift gears. All right.
Are you ready, Garrick?
What's the next segment?
What's the next segment? The next segment, of course, is why this show is so extraordinary, is your escrow stories. You're crazy and anything can happen in escrow.
Wait, no, that's my line. Anything can happen in escrow. Oh, that's your line. Okay. Come on, Garrick, let's hear it. Dinger, we want dead bodies in the closets. We want crazy stuff. Bring it on.
Oh, you have a lot.
Ooh, that's actually really true. I was actually in the process of writing up a list of all the stories that I have. I started a real estate team probably last year or the year before, but I also wanted to share it with the team, right? Because my lessons are their lessons, and hopefully they've learned from my lessons so that they don't repeat them. And then this applies to anybody, and I think anyone who watches this that too. So there's just a long list of stuff. Let me see. I would say one of my early mistakes on a transaction a while ago was I submitted the pest report to the underwriter. So you know that you're not supposed to do that.
Meaning you were the pest to the underwriter, so you wanted to kind of like
get it's like
rid
I
of
wanted
yourself?
to kill my own, right? So this was on an FHA loan too.
Okay, so was a house holding termites, was standing up by termites holding hands, or was it a mud sill? Kind of give us some details.
So and I share this because in hindsight it is pretty funny, but at the moment as a newer agent it is very tense, right? But in this business, if you're working with other professionals, there are always, or generally, ways to solve the problems. So in this case, so I submitted the pest report to the underwriter, who then called out and said, "Wait, this is an FA. We need clearance, Section 1 clearance." So it's like, okay, how are we going to do that? So we had to scramble and get the pest company. I mean, we did the work that was needed. The wood that was exposed, we painted. The dry rot we had to cut. We then had to call out the pest company to write up a cert for us. But then the underwriter kept calling back and was not accepting the explanation from the pest company. So we had to, there was a lot of going back and forth between there. During that time, one of the owner said that their tools went missing in the garage.
Oh gosh.
Okay. It's like, okay, this isn't fun. And then my buyer, their lease was going to come due, so they were going to be homeless because they were going to be in between places, right? They were expected to move in, but they couldn't move in. So, you know, it was just not a
What a
good thing. A
nightmare.
30-day escrow turned into 60 days. And then, you know, then the seller was asking for, you know, rent back. I mean, no, the seller was asking for DM charge. So it wasn't a fun escrow, but you know, you learned a lot of lessons in that one thing. And at the end of the day, client experience was very important to me. We wanted to make sure that even all of this stuff was going on, that they were still going to be, you know, what was able to continue to work with me as well. So we had to do what was right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
In these cases, you know, if the buyer needed a hotel room, then I said, if you need a hotel room, I'll get you a room. You know, if there was a per diem charge, let's hurry it up and let's finish this out as fast as possible. You know, and then, you know, just coordinating the contractors to get the work done for the Section 1. You know, it was going to have to get done anyway, but it just now had to be done before funding as opposed to doing it after the close of escrow. I bought sealant and just painted the porch myself, you know. So we closed the transaction. My buyer is still happy. We still talk to him. He's actually a frontline worker. So we delivered N95 masks to him earlier this year. His son is now also a paramedic. You know, we gave him some other more PPE as well. So we still maintain contact, and it's been 5 years. So, you know.
That's very important.
Garrick, I was hoping that after you painted the porch, when your buyer or seller stepped on it, his foot stuck and he couldn't move.
Oh,
he had to call you.
Gosh.
That would have been a better adaptation to the story.
That was a hot seat. That was a hot seat escrow for sure.
A lot of people probably know, but realtors know. But in California, it used to be that there was a Section 1, Section 2, right? Section 1 was active infestation of termites or wood eating pest organisms, right? And then Section 2 was stuff that might lead to it, you know, and it was kind of optional. Yeah, but they took that all out thinking that it was mandatory, but it was kind of like realtors and pest control people kind of made up those terms, right? But I know Northern California, you guys still require roof certs for loans and stuff? No. Used to be back in the day when I was doing it, they had to actually have a cert by a roofer saying that the roof was watertight. And you know, once in a while you'd have it only leak when it rained typically, you know, roofs, that's kind of how they work. So one time we had it to where we had to fix this roof and we didn't have time to fix it to close escrow. So the guy roofer went up there, got 4 bricks and put tarp out, you know, over the hole. He deemed it watertight. It came out repaired, but it was watertight. So, you know, whatever it takes to get it done, sometimes that's what you got to do. But yeah, we always learn from all these things, right? Every escrow we do, I mean, it is just.
Everyone is absolutely different.
Yeah, we definitely learn a lot, right?
That is so true, Garrick.
All right.
All right. Looking
good.
What are we looking there at? We go.
Yeah, what do you think of this one, huh? Boring. All right, you ready, Narhee? Surprise to you.
Oh boy, look at that.
A new one. Yeah, look at that. Look at that look you're giving me. You're like, what the heck did you just say? Oh my God.
I'm not gonna laugh.
Yeah, well, we've got Mr. Garrick Yang and Pandemic.
That was like a long time ago.
It was. Well, it was actually this year. Ain't that funny, right? But yeah, that is crazy. Well, you are the CDC vice chair. How appropriate it is to be in the CDC this year, right? And last. And thank you. Really appreciate your crazy experience. Well, we have, of course, Garrick Yang. He is Mr. TikTok Realty here. Wow. Wow. Right? I mean, it's pretty good. Many hours enjoyment. Garrick got me into TikTok, you know, so it was a lot of fun. Nice. Really great place to do a lot of marketing materials. But the important part of this actual show is Garrick's top 5. And he prepared this, he mulled this thing over for at least a week, Narhee. He came up with a top 5 list on how to choose a realtor. And it didn't mean just go to the internet and type GARRICK.com either.
That would work.
That would work. However, here's where we go. All right. So number 1, market knowledge. Why does a realtor even need market knowledge? when people could just go on Zillow and Redfin and do it themselves, Garrick?
Well, because one side of the street could be $100,000 difference from the other side. Because and if you don't know that, you could get your buyer to overpay for a property.
Yeah, a lot of stuff like that, right? Like maybe if the school district is on the other side and you don't even know it, right?
Definitely. School district is one of those cases. My first house, one side of the street goes to a 10 school, the other side goes to a 6. Which side you buy makes a difference. And then we just toured a property in Foster City the other day. So there's one side has a water canal and the other side does not. There's $100,000 difference.
So the water canal one, because of flood zone, was worth $100,000 less.
No, they'd have to pay for the FEMA insurance and have the $100,000 premium on the property because of the water access.
But you had a little dinghy you could pull up to it, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Well, Garrick Yang knows all about fancy properties, waterfront, all that stuff. We'll get to that a little bit later. You don't realize, how big of a baller Garrick is, so we'll reveal it in a minute here.
Oh no, I know. Responsiveness.
Did I spell that right?
Oh no.
Oh no, he didn't respond there.
Well, no, hey, what time did I call you, Garrick, last night? I called 10:30 thinking, he thought of, some listing or buyer lead, and he pick up the phone. So,
Yeah, if you got to choose the people that'll actually pick up the phone. If you've got a question, if you got something in your mind, they have to be reachable. I don't care where they are. I was in Dubai and my client called me and picked it up. Why? Because they had a question. So, and these days with today's technology, we, the realtor, could be anywhere. We could be sending you the contract to sign, or answer your question from. That's one of the amazing things about the current real estate market. But everybody has ADD. The buyers have ADD. Sellers have ADD.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm riding a camel and I'm on my way to a sheik's soiree here. I'm in Dubai. Leave me alone.
No, well, client's a client, so you got to give them the VIP experience. So answer the question.
So this is an intriguing kind of thing here. Creativity. Explain creativity. I guess. In this world and day and age, there is an opportunity to do that. How does that help choosing a realtor?
Creativity, because like you've said before, no two escrows are the same, and sometimes you have interesting situations, whether you created them or not, or whether the sellers disappeared, or the other agent's not picking up the phone. You got to find a way to solve the problem, and sometimes it requires a creative solution.
It does. Yeah, we come up with crazy creative ways to close escrows, and it works, and you just have to work together, like you said. Yeah.
And sometimes we make this business seem a lot less stressful than it is, because we insulate it from the buyers and the sellers. So you got to be able to be a chameleon.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to talk the way that the client needs to hear what they can say, so they can receive the knowledge properly, but then also not take yourself too seriously sometimes. But the client's money is, I don't mean that lightly, but you have to keep everyone together for the period of 30 days so that the buyer is able to get their home, the seller is able to get their sale, and and still like each other at the end of the day, at the end of the month.
There you go.
Respect in the community.
Before anybody chooses a realtor, they've already probably been looking you up for the past 6 months.
Really?
So your reputation precedes you. So, if it's easy, it's easy these days. You could easily look somebody up on Yelp. You could easily look somebody up on Zillow, see what the reviews are.
So reputation.
That might actually make help their decision to choose immediately to work with you or not work with you. So, having treating others well will reach, will do you better, will be benefit to you. Okay. Your
Right.
reputation is important.
Good.
And then I've got here, always has your best interest. Don't do it yourself. What does that mean?
Don't sell your own house by yourself. Yeah. I've got your best interest for you. I mean,
Well, but you want to find someone that and it's kind of hard to probably find. You obviously want someone that does have your best interest, but how do you find out if they do? I guess maybe you interview them, you talk to them, and maybe you kind of tell, huh?
definitely so. Yep.
Oh, well. All right. Well, Garrick, thank you I know we worked hard on this to really kind of narrow this down, and we're back and forth for a couple of weeks on this, but thank you so much for sharing this fine list. Hey, it is very hard. There's programs and websites now where you could choose a realtor. What's your opinion on like HomeLight and all that? Is this just basically a service that's just trying to make some money and using stats?
Surprisingly, I haven't started HomeLight yet, but I am preparing to put my profile up there. You found the one website I'm not on.
There you go. All right. Look for Garrick on HomeLight. Well, they should just be able to find you on garrickyan.com. So that is really
right.
Cool. All right, Garrick, are you ready? We've got something very special for you. I don't like to invade anyone's privacy, but sometimes we have to dig a little deeper and peel that onion a little bit further down, right, Narhee?
I'm scared.
Yep.
I'm scared.
Oh, don't be.
We did it with Cindy Hansen, and she turned bright pink and red. And she just couldn't believe what was going on, but we had a lot of fun. All right, Garrick, it is time for Garrick Yang's favorite whips. All right, are you ready, Garrick? Look at that.
Hilarious.
Look at all that stuff. He's got aircraft. He's got
that's a nice collection. That's pretty impressive.
Vintage BMWs and some sort of. All right, are you ready, Garrick?
All right, let's go. What do you got?
All right. Well, obviously, we're just going to focus on one of Garrick's whips, and people don't realize, but Garrick does have a Gulfstream G5. It's not like he uses it personally, leases it out to an aviation company. It's kind of more of a business deal. He doesn't want to tell everyone about it because, what's everyone going to do? Narhee, if you knew he had a G5, would you just be calling him every weekend? Hey, Garrick, what are you doing this weekend?
What event you got?
Yeah, I got to think of going to Vegas or something,
NorCal.
So, all right. So top 5 facts. Here we go. Garrick, what does it cost to buy a G5? We always wanted to know.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, I know your accountants pay for it all, and I realize, you're too busy to kind of deal with the details. But so according to your accountant that I spoke to, it costs anywhere from about 18 to 31 million, depending on if you got the older 5-year-old model, or you've got something a little closer to brand spanking new.
He's got the brand spanking new.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
I think
I'd opt for the 18.
Yeah, and well, I know Garrick went. We talked about it several years ago. He's going, I want to get the one with the winglets on it, So yeah. But 18 to 31 million. You don't have to pay it all at once. You could make payments on it. We'll talk about that. But yeah, not exactly cheap, I suppose. All right.
Hey, but that's
cost
a good way to
operate,
travel.
Of course. Just because you bought it isn't what the main expense is. Actually, a lot of times the biggest expense is operating it, not buying it, right? The price of admission sometimes is the smallest thing. So what do you figure, Garrick, you spend a year flying around to RE events? Well, I mean, this year you didn't use it too much, but like for last year, what did you spend, for the year you think about?
I'm going to guess 500.
About $500,000.
Fuel's expensive.
Yeah, I think you only looked at this. I think you only looked at the 6-month interim statement that your CPA gave you. So the fixed cost of operating one thing, just the fixed cost, because I know even if you like this year, it's really hurting you because it's just sitting in the hangar, right? You really haven't been able to use it a whole lot. you know, because people are worried about you, even though you're probably by yourself in there. You know, people don't want to be visited during COVID. So, you know, you know, your accountant said it basically costs you about $1 million a year. That includes pilots training, you know, the insurance and all that stuff. And if you pull it out of the hangar, the clock starts ticking at about $7,000 per hour. So, you know, I mean, if you flew around for 200 hours, you could do the math. You know, be about $3-4 million a year. You know, something you make in a couple of transactions, Garrick. So we realize, you know,
easy peasy.
how things. Yeah, absolutely. All right, and then how far and how fast you could fly. Now, I know you don't sit there with a, you know, with a road map and trying to figure out how far you flew. You just look at the, what do they call that thing? That's the air show, whatever, 2.0, whatever, where, you know, it's on that screen that you see. Where's the furthest that you've flown, Garrick?
Let's see.
Saudi Arabia, Istanbul?
Dubai.
Probably the Dubai, right?
But that was not a direct flight, though.
Oh.
Well, yeah, because, well, here's the thing. The key is you could go about 6,700 nautical miles, depending on how much luggage that you put into it, Garrick, or how many guests you bring. And it flies around Mach 0.885. And as everyone knows, Mach is the number, I think it was it the German scientist, whatever? Speed of sound is what, Garrick? About 700 miles an hour.
Engineer for a long time.
Yeah, about 700 miles an hour at sea level or so. So this thing like cruises at around high 600s probably. So that's pretty fast, you know, a lot faster than driving around. And then how many people could fit inside, Garrick? I think, of course, for you, it depends on how you outfit the plane, right? You know, if you want to turn it into a party plane, it's a little different than if you're taking, you know, guests and people, you know, just to ferry them around to the country. So I realize, Garrick, that the plane is flying around on a charter while you're not using it, you know, so it probably gets used quite a bit. So anyway, about 4 to 19. You're, I know you've never packed it with 19 people, but
a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people in a aluminum beer can, you know, flying around at 700 miles an hour, all breathing the same air with masks on. Speaking of masks, when, Garrick, you do fly, we always prefer to use the Wine About Real Estate mask. A little plug out to Helen and Tim. Thank you very much for these amazing masks. They look great. Can't breathe in them, but they look great.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you,
They're
Helen.
about this thick. No, they're awesome.
Oh, they are awesome.
They are. This is probably, Narhee, probably the most premium mask I've actually used or have or received.
I know. It's so soft.
Cool. Yeah, of course, I do use it inside out to avoid confusing everyone on what show I actually do host. Sorry. Anyway, so let's continue here. So Garrick, let's say I closed a few hefty deals and I want to be like Garrick. So should I buy or rent a plane?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I personally, I think I'd just rent for now.
Yeah. Well, once we get to the Garrick gang level, right? Well, I guess it depends on the intended use, right? I mean,
fractional ownership makes sense.
Yeah, there is a way that you could own half of it or whatever. So Garrick, if you ever hit on tough times, maybe I could buy half of your, you know, plane out. We could kind of share, but that is possible. Fractional ownership, they lease them, and of course you get all kinds of financing on them too. So, but of course the biggest advantage, Garrick, on owning your private aircraft is it's a 4-letter word. I see 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 4-letter word. What is the biggest advantage, Garrick?
What is it?
Well, of course it's time.
Oh yes, right? Definitely. Yeah. Wait, saves on lodging? No, I'm not sleeping on the plane.
Well, no, but I mean, this is not for you, but for your guests that you sometimes send the plane out to. Maybe you go out and pick up Jim Park down in San Diego, and then on the way up, you know, pick up Alan Okamoto and go out to, you know, Boston and meet up with Dick Lee and Elena.
That would be pretty awesome.
You could do this all in maybe a day or two and bring them back the same day, right? If you had a trip out to, let's say, Denver for a meeting. And, you know, because it takes time to get on
Cocktails
the
with
plane.
Dylan.
Yeah, go visit Denver Dylan.
There you
You're
go.
doing a great job there. Go visit Denver Dylan, hang out with him until about 8 or 9 o'clock, which is really difficult. You'll probably be there till 2, 3 in the morning. But then you don't have to deal with, unless you own you probably do own a ski and ski out, you know, lodge in Aspen. Forgive me, but if you didn't, you would have to find a place to stay, right?
Mhm.
So with a private aircraft of your own, you could just fly right back, which
Round
means you
trip.
just saved, you know,
Be
some
ready
lodging
for the
costs.
next meeting
So
the
if you
next
were to
morning.
send a bunch of people,
Mhm.
you know, first class, you know, over to a location, you can afford it, because if you could bring them all back, you're not paying for the $500 hotel stay for the overnight, right? Times 12, right? So there is a bit of cost savings. You know, I'm sure you use all kinds of excuses wanting to fly and own your own plane, but obviously it is the time that you save. So Garrick, I know you're really humble, and you know, you don't really like to talk about, you know, your fancy stuff, but thank you very much for you know, kind of, I will reveal the tail number in a later episode, so you kind of look him up and see where he is at any one time. But anyway, thank you very, very much. Upcoming, Garrick, guess who we have? Can you recognize those people? Oh, no.
All right. So upcoming in a future episode, we've got Ritu Rani, Jordan Lee, Ritu Rani from Miami, Jordan Lee from Portland, and Tina Lombard. I'm not sure which chapter she's from.
She's hanging out. You visited her in Denver. She is the 2021 incoming chapter president for Denver chapter, right? So
excellent.
Yeah, and she's going to be on our show. It's going to be great. Really excited to have Jordan Lee on it too. Now, Narhee, if anybody wants to be on our show, what do they have to do, Narhee?
Oh, they just call us and subscribe.
Really? They don't even have to fill out the rigorous, vetting process and put in a couple of applications and stuff? What we talked about?
When they call us, we'll give them all of that. Don't worry.
Okay, I
And
got
maybe
you.
even simpler than that.
Well, and if you do, like Narhee said, you know, subscribe, like, hit, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's right. Like us, make comments. And as we said before, we are trying to monetize this show. So both of us can make at least $450,000 in net income from just the royalties and the monetization of this show. So we really appreciate your help. We are about close to 1 million subscribers away from about 1 million. So we're working on it.
We're going to get to Garrick status.
So
soon.
Garrick, what's going on? I hear there's something brewing and cooking next week.
Absolutely. So chapter development with our ARIA has the leadership summit coming up January 20th to the 21st. Previous years, we usually fly into a location limited to maybe 2 or 3 people per chapter. But this year, get the whole chapter, all the chapter leaders to sign up so that we could improve how we serve our communities. So which chapter is going to bring the largest entourage? I mean, largest board.
That's right.
Yeah,
as many people, right? And I know last year we had a good amount. We had over 200. But this year you don't have to beg Garrick to, get a ride in his private aircraft. You can just do a few mouse clicks and you are there. So no excuses. Sign up, right, Elena Lau?
I think our seats are filling up. We're pushing about 400. So
we're a little shy.
They'll sign up before they run out
That's
of
almost
space,
as big as a GLS or something,
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. All right, Definitely. So sign up. Amazing stuff. I'm on a panel. I'm sure Garrick is leading a few panels. Some really amazing leadership stuff that I hear that is going to be there. So, hey, Garrick, thank you very much for joining us. Who is that guy in your little private jet? Oh, you went back to the cabin, I see, to mingle with the, with the people back there. So
with the A-lister Herman Chan.
That's right. Herman, we may have you on a future show. So
check your email.
Yeah. All right, Garrick, anything else to plug in your world or in East Bay world or whatever have you?
If you're looking for a house in the East Bay, let's connect.
What about
That's
slightly
right.
outside the East Bay?
Yeah, not the within the East Bay.
Just Bay Area, call Garrick. All right.
That's
San
right.
Francisco Bay Area. If there's a 415, a 408, a 510, and there's probably a few more.
Oh, definitely.
Contact Garrick, and he will take care of you. He's got an incredible team, and you know you're in amazing good hands with Garrick.
Garrick. Yeah.
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
and if you ever have any escrows in Southern California or about that area, contact that person here or there. I always forget which. Okay, there. And if you have any questions on anything in Los Angeles, whether it's commercial or
Listings.
residential, yeah, give me a call. I can either take care of it or point you in the right direction. So
Absolutely.
again, Garrick, thank you very much for joining us today, and have an amazing leadership summit next week. And we will see you on the next upcoming episode of Escrow Tuesdays.
Most
See you later.
definitely. Thank you,
Thanks
Garrick.
for having me, Carl. Thank you, Narhee. Good to see you guys.